Hi guys, it's Amanda here. So, Amanda, the creative gardener, that's my hat that I've got on today. Well, not literally. Anyway, so today I'm going to show you my water storage solution and basically the process I have to go through to actually access the water. But if you're on a budget, it's a way of collecting water. So let's go and have a look. Okay, come on. Okay, so here we have it. I might have spoken about it before in earlier videos, and I'm just gonna try and get out of the way. The wind is kind of blowing straight to me. So here it is. It's a 250 gallon container, and I got it from my neighbour. He has these shits in, and basically what you've got to try and make sure you do is get one that's being used for food. Sit down. I'm gonna sit down on a cloudy day. It's not cloudy, but it's very dry. So okay, so you've depending on where you live, using the tap water isn't ideal. So if you can harvest the water, that is much better. So forgive its appearance, I'll talk to you about that in a minute. So this was one of the things I've always wanted, because online I saw this. Even if you didn't have drainage from your roof, you could find a way to harvest the water, and I did consider many different ways, and one way was using something that looked like an umbrella to catch the water and then fit it to the top of this. And I'm not even sure whether you're going to be able to see the connection. It's just a small hole. So basically what I had to do, about here there's a small hole which it's obviously filled with at the center of the plastic drum, and at the bottom here, again, this is my makeshift thing, that's where the water would come out. So I had to devise a way to harvest the water from the roof, which I'll show you in a minute. You'll see it's not a roof really. Well, it is a roof. So this is the only space I had that I could put it. There is another space, but again, it's kind of like in an area that there's no pipes coming down, so the water could be harvested. So up here, this is where the solar panel is, and water, what I noticed one day, this is well before I got it, was water was coming down right at that spot. And so I thought to myself, oh, that's an ideal spot to see if I could try and catch water. And the other place it comes out is there. The water drips down there. And I don't know whether it's that it's on a slope or this whole land is on a slope. So that's something else I had to deal with. So I had to find a way to get the water from up there into the middle here of this container. And you might just be able to see the black lid. There it is. I think a mouse was living in here at one point. So the black lid there. So what I devised was this. So this is a detergent container, and what I would do is sit it here, and this was the end of our machine, our washing machine. It packed in. There was a hole in the tube, so I took a section of the tube that didn't have the hole in, and I slotted it in at this hole here, like that. So when the water dripped, it filled this up, and then it wouldn't overflow because you had the tube in here. The only thing I've got to remedy for this is to make sure that it seals so that the water doesn't drip out. But it worked, and what happened is when it rained, it took about an hour to fill this up, and so that shows you how much water we had. So once I'd filled it, I realised I didn't have a hose to extract the water, plus you know, the kind of position that it was in. So under the house there was loads of these pipes, and so I literally just got the pipes, found one that I would be able to access, because as I say, it's quite a close it's quite a close tap. So to get the water out, it needed to come out away, and then I needed to be able to access. So this can turn, not too much, because what happens is the water then will come out of where this pipe, see that I've got the tape there, so I've just literally put the tape on today because it was just like, do you know what, I'm losing more water out of that, and then I need to, and then what I do is this is not in use, but I couldn't get it off, so and it serves a purpose. So what happens is the water will flow through and it goes uphill, so I leave it on this incline, and then I fill the bottles like that. And so that's what I've done here. I've got loads of, you know, the containers that we have, and just filled them, and some of them have lost their lids, so I've got to use this particular batch of water on the plants. So there you have it. That's one way that you can capture the rainfall. Well, this is the way that I've worked out to capture the rainfall, so that I can water the plants, because I'm determined to create a food forest where everything just, you know, gets it from the ground. And I mean, I obviously have pots, so those will have to be watered, but find a way that to retain the water in the soil. So this has come in handy immensely, because we're now going through, you know, a really dry period just before the hurricane season starts next month. But like today we had a spit of rain that literally was what it felt like it was on the ground anyway. It was just like, it didn't go anywhere, and most of the plants have got quite deep roots, so it didn't go anywhere. So yeah, that's what I've come up with. And as I say, I collect the bottles, and this will all be used now, and then I'll try and refill them. I'll refill them and then put them under the house ready for midweek, and just hope that we get some rain in between. Now the other thing that I noticed has happened is it's got this like algae in it, and I remember seeing it when it first formed. When I looked at it, there was just it looked like a sheet of, I've got no idea, I've never seen it before. So it's this stuff, and I'm not sure what problems I may have when it gets down to the bottom, and if it tries to get out, or not tries to slither out, but whether it will block up the hole. So that's the other thing that I've got to be mindful of. This plant now, you can see the seeds, these black seeds on the floor there. Can you see them? Yeah, these black seeds. So one must have got into a crack. Let's just move, show you where it was. Oh, yeah, I'll just use this one. Well, more than one. About 3 of them got into this crack here and started growing. And when I first saw it, and I started cutting it back, and then I thought, actually it's going towards here. And what it did was it went and it covered this whole thing. And I was just like, oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't it ideal? So it was growing and growing. I kept cutting it back. And then since the dry spell, I didn't realise how dry it got. And it just died off. But the other thing that I had to be mindful of here was that it's growing in a crack in concrete, and if it gets thicker and thicker and thicker, it's going to mash up, which it already, I mean, that plant didn't mash up the concrete, but I don't have the funds to be able to fix it. So part of me was saying, oh, I wonder what I could do to move it and have something that maybe didn't go into the concrete, and then it started dying and then it died off. So I've got to remove this and think of an alternative, maybe an alternative plant. The broadleaf thyme seems to grow anywhere, so I might just fling some broadleaf thyme up here and see what happens, because that's what's happened in this section here. It was just when we had our work done on the house before we moved in, the guys were just using this as a dumping. Like, they'd cut this bit open and we were going to put stairs, they left it there and just chucked other things, and I thought it's so unsightly, I couldn't move this. So let me just fling some broadleaf thyme, and this is what resulted. And it just covers it up, but I need to tidy it up. Anyway, so back to here. So I filled up the containers and I take it out into the garden and water the plants out there for the time being, just to give them that start, because, you know, I want them, when in the rainy season comes, then they're just going to flourish and grow big. But I just wanted to share that with you. This is, you know, a great way to store water, and a very simple method. You see, I'm just capturing it in that, and it, as I said, within an hour, that's how much rain we had, within an hour it had filled up, and it was just amazing. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need another one connected to, I might even put one here, I don't know, but it's maybe not, yeah, a way to on a extremely tight budget in terms of the garden. And so utilizing what I had having to work out that, you know, if it was angled on there, or sometimes I tell you what I do, I put it here, I put the stone in there so it would be weighted, so I put it there, and then the rain hits here and then goes in here, and then it fills up, and it's just amazing. So yeah, when this plant grew big, I have to take all of this off, but I'm sure the mice were using it as a run to get, they were coming into the house at one point. Yeah, so I'm looking for now an alternative. I might just grow another one and grow it in a pot and just allow it to then, you know, also grow up. Just put a little long pot in front of here, just like those ones up there, but just a bit longer, and just put it there and allow it to grow up like that, so it's not actually going into the concrete, but it's actually providing cover. But this is it really is a good plant to utilize. It's called the Clitoria tenae, and it has like purpley flowers, and you can use them for tea, you can use them in your tea. And so I've got like 1 million seeds now to propagate, and I'm thinking of using it on some of the slopes out in the main garden, and use it like as ground cover maybe. But it's a really, really pretty plant, yeah, so I might do that. Anyway, so I hope that was informative. Take care for now, and I will see you soon.